Hello everyone! After I made the Thunder's Frenzy Recoded video, the 3.0 version came out soon after. Recoding the game. Again. But because of that, many bugs are now gone. So no more thunder clipping through vent seals, no more goalie stalling, and most importantly, no more dog characters stalling each other. But do these 3.0 features change the game enough to make another video on it before Perfect Rev comes out? Not by much. But wait, don't leave just yet. I'll include every bit of knowledge that could help that I learned in this video. This video is not exactly a guide, but I've wasted so much time in this game now. Might as well make the journey easier for the ones who dare to try this game. Not like I can go in depth into cycles, cause the game still doesn't have one. Also, the mechanics of the characters won't be repeated here. I and Flarix already made a video explaining them. There's no need to repeat them. Again. First, let's talk about the changes. So, what did I mean with dog characters stalling each other? Well, if a dog character attacked you, while you were already dealing with one before, the timer for them both gets stalled, resulting in a huge time loss when dealing with both of them, which could lead to an unfair death. This is probably the single biggest change, and this is the reason why I never completed Eternal Rev Plus on version 2.6. By the way, you will hear me talk about version 2.6 and 3.0 a lot. Keep in mind 2.6 is the older version and 3.0 is the newest. Well, actually it's 3.0.4 as of writing the script, but I won't say that the entire video. It was such a big addition of RNG which I hated. But with this gone, higher AI changes finally don't require RNG anymore. Or at least not RNG added through bugs. We'll get back to that later. The animatronics buffs or mechanics have been tweaked too. Phobos aggressive switched with his hopeless buff, forcing you to remember him for his aggressive buff now, and the hopeless buff makes you watch him in the office. Ultra also plays his music a lot less now, requiring less winding and headaches. But you can also wind him up less now, so it's neither a nerf or a buff. Actually, I just found out that's a bug, and before 2.6 it used to work fine, like it's supposed to now, but yeah, something broke, so... His kill timer can also never go below 0.5 seconds now, making windless Eternal Rev possible. Which I did do and probably won't be doing in the next time. His description now isn't that ambiguous anymore too, stating that he's faster now instead of him being a trickster? I still don't know what this means. The biggest change by far is Goldie's hopeless buff though. He can now attack whenever, not needing the monitor to be pulled down for him to spawn. His kill timer is still short, so you'll need to deal with him as soon as you possibly can. This change caught me off guard and killed me sometimes, because I decided I was too good to read the descriptions for possible changes. As you may have noticed, the visuals have changed a lot too. Everything got a polish, and it just feels smoother. There's also a lot more customization, including buff sequences. Like in Fnatty but Dumb Unlocked, you can adjust them to only include sound, visuals, or both of them as set as default, or disable them entirely, which somehow invalidates reruns though. Speaking of buff sequences, Eternal Rev doesn't have a 20-second long buff sequence including each character with all of their sounds, which also turns everything blue. Instead there's new music, which is called Portal to the Other Side, which is most famously known for Top 10 Hardest Geometry Dash Demon called Pumbaa Wamba, and an alarm effect, which changes color. The color change does make seeing Cupcakes or Goldie's colors harder to see though, but the alarm at least looks cool, and doesn't annoy you for the first 20 seconds of the night every time, like its replacement in older versions. Those are the biggest changes I could think of for now. So let's just get to the strategy part.
The real Thunder's Frenzy 3.0. Everything you talked about before isn't actually real, including the animatronics. The real threats we now have are Jonathan 697, Wither Jonathan, PokeJon, Jonacraft, RTX John, Doodle Jonathan, and Jonaflesh. Jonathan 697 isn't camera 9, and if his description is open on the right, He attacks from the left, of course, and vice versa, because the camera is obviously mounted on the back wall. Wither Jonathan appears in the office, and to fool him, you have to press shift to equip the mask. PokeJohn needs to be captured via Pokeball, and afterwards the ball needs to be clicked until it goes away. Jonacraft needs his netherite armor equipped because his dumbass decided to enter the nether without any armor for some off-camera mining. So you need to forcefully put the armor back on him before he gets clapped. RTX John has a very sensitive nose, so do not touch it, or else he won't be able to kill you. Doodle Jonathan does, he just exists. And John will plushie spawn inside the cameras the whole time. So look between every camera, because they'll slowly turn white, and if they fully turn white...
Huh. I sure wonder who that guy was. Anyway, in Jonathan's custom night you have to face a challenge so hard it took me months to complete. Sadly, there's not much to say about this mode. You have to win this on your own. You just have to watch out for Jonacraft and the Jona plushies. Then you should be good, because those are the biggest threats in this night. So, good luck beating this challenge. You will need it. Let's finally get to the strategy part for Eternal Wrath. The hardest challenge this game has to offer. For the other max modes, most of the stuff from my last video about this game should still hold true. Flarix's video covers most of the important stuff as well. So watch those if you need help. But I also mention important stuff here, which apply to those modes. So strap in. This is going to be a long list of stuff, which I'm going to mention. First, I'm gonna mention tips for general gameplay. I already mentioned this in my other video, but the monitor doesn't fill the entire screen. But you can instead see the office at the edges of the screen. With that you can look for G's cupcake or other stuff in the office. The office may also be dark and Goldie's colors might be hard to tell apart, so I'd advise to turn up saturation and brightness on your monitor settings. In the settings you can change ultrasong, which can really get annoying after a while, and also turn off visual effects. You can also turn your FPS up and enable or disable VSync. But who the hell activates VSync, am I right? Every animatronic has different priorities to deal with. For example, Jonathan is almost always the top priority when he leaves his cove. You should also always try to turn on the alarm for firework and fan as soon as possible. If you're uncertain who you should put the alarm on, don't stress. What I often do is look at either cam 5 or 6. To see which one I need to deal with. And if I need to deal with someone first before playing the alarm, I deal with them, but play the alarm after that. Also you should only look at one of the cams when looking for phobia, or firework and fan, as you can deduce from looking at one side that you should deal with the other side or not. Because if you see that for firework or fan the side doesn't match up, you can be certain that you should activate the alarm on the other side. And if you don't see phobia on the right side, you know he's on the left. Stuff like that may need time to adjust to, but the mode can get very fast paced if you don't deal with the animatronics fast enough. So instead of spending much time looking for each animatronic on the camera, gather as much information as you can with the power of deduction. For Thunder and Aiden, you should just flash Aiden if the screen turns black, or if you know you won't have time in the next few seconds to deal with him. If the screen turns black and you don't have anything to do, try to get as much time of Aiden and Thunder by waiting a short while to stall both of them, before flashing Aiden again. If you're uncertain where Thunder is, don't be scared to wait a few seconds until he switches sides again. You should also build up a feeling for Aiden and Goldie, as they both attack the whole time now, and especially Goldie can easily slip your mind. Also, try to wait on Goldie when you need to wait for a dog character to knock, to get some extra time off him. If G's cupcake crosses over Goldie's monitors, be sure to click it with right click, as you only click the cupcake, so you don't cause an accidental Goldie power out. If it's a fake cupcake though, be sure that the cupcake crosses the monitors first. Not just visually though, as the cupcake hitbox can be weird at times. Oh, and fun fact, the name of the cupcake is Skello, and yeah, that's pretty cool. I also must admit that Goldie often kills you when you ask for either yellow or orange, or sometimes even purple and blue. So if you're uncertain, just wait and look again, or you'd risk dying because you can't match colors.
Wow, no wonder your parents are so disappointed in you.
G-Hawk also became a bigger threat now, as G spawns more frequently. If you try to click on a cupcake, don't be too hasty. You can always pull down the monitor for a second, get a Goldie color where you're at it, and then get back down the cameras with the real cupcake. The cupcake also doesn't cycle between corners anymore. If you switch cameras or pull down the monitor and the cupcake is in the left corner, it will stay there. While we're at it, let's cover G. G's a much bigger threat now. For its office attack, you should try to hit the frosting, and on version 3.0, disabled doors caused by G will never work again. So you're cooked if this happens. His spawn timer for his camera attack got reduced as well as his kill timer. When he spawns, try look in the cameras in which you don't look first. So look in the hallway for Firework and Fan, both forward spots and maybe the ultra cameras. So as you can see, all the lower cameras have priority when looking for G, as you must look at camera 7 and 8 anyway, to flash Aiden in those 12 seconds. You should also spend most of your time looking at Jonathan's camera anyway, so if the cupcake spawns there, there's basically no chance of you missing it. Now, let's finally get to the big three. Let's talk about the least evil one of them. Ultra. Ultra got a huge kill time reduction, so you can't really sync him up with Firework and Fan anymore. So if Ultra spawns, deal with him as soon as possible. Ultra also plays his music much less frequently now. When he does though, you should rather wait before winding him up, as his music will slow down when he's right about to attack.
Cake time!
Also, try looking at one of the forward cameras when you're done winding Ultra up, as those cameras are really close to each other. What I like to do is wind up Ultra, click forward camera to look if he's there or not, to deduce if he's on the left or right, and then deal with either Fan or Firework in the hallway, if not done before, or flash Aiden. As you can see, this makes a very efficient path for the mouse. Now let's get to forward. Like mentioned previously, I remember him with the digits 3 and 4, as those are his cameras he attacks from, so 3 is left and 4 is right. Most of the Eternal Reflectors do that, except Flarix. Now what I do is also include Jonathan to this code. But this may be confusing as this doesn't work well in Eternal 10 and you constantly have to adjust the digits. If you want to do the same, make the first digit Jonathan's. Keep in mind that I also keep track of Jonathan as 3 or 4, as 5 and 6 would make it even more complicated. Now remember Forward's first position for the second digit, and the third digit will be Forward's second position. Keep in mind if Jonathan or Forward attacks, that part of the digits will be reset and you have to adjust to the new position. Got all that? Barely? Great. This is just what I personally do, but it takes a lot of adjusting and brain power. So choose what suits you best. What other people, such as Kingpin do for example, is use the direction left and right for Jonathan instead, so you don't end up confusing yourself with numbers and can easily separate the two characters. Now, Forward has a shorter kill time on his first office attack, so he becomes a top priority whenever he appears. So place a cake as soon as you can. The later you do, the later you also have to watch him in the office, as placing the cake slows his kill timer to half the rate. If you place in the cake early, you can usually get a bit more time for the camera characters. If you're uncertain if you looked at him enough, look for the office turning black for a second. This means either G spawned in or left, or one of Forward's attack has been dealt with. Also, always keep in mind which attack you're on, especially if his placements alternate, like for example a cake on camera 3 and then 4. This can get you killed more often than you think if you forget about it. Forward takes a lot of adjusting too, so don't get frustrated with him. There's a much better character to get frustrated by. The run killer number 1. The one and only Jonathan. For Jonathan, I don't have that many tips. He just takes getting used to. You should always try to look at him when you don't have anything else to do, but focus on looking at him when he's in his last stage. His kill timer can't exceed 5 seconds, but you can increase his watch timer up to 7 seconds. But you won't get that much time most of the time. Try to get everything important dealt with before he leaves his cove. That means flashing Aiden, activating the alarm on fan and firework, looking for Forber's position if he changed it right before attacking, or maybe wind ultra when his kill timer is really low. Sometimes you get really unlucky situations. Imagine Jonathan attacks from the right, for example, but either ultra or one of the other Bonnie recolors attacks from the opposite side. Now if Jonathan is about to attack, look at him for some time, preferably for a second or two, if you haven't done before. And then deal with the door characters. Now, if Jonathan already left, immediately deal with Jonathan, then close the opposite door. There's also a secret worst case scenario. You try to look at Jonathan for a few seconds while a door character is attacking, and while you watch him he leaves his cove, but because you wanted to look at him you have to deal with the door character or else you'd probably die. What would you do? If you said go to the corresponding hallway camera, deal with the other door character, and then immediately deal with Jonathan, you'd be correct. Try to figure that out while playing Eternal Wrath though, and also fast enough that you don't die, cause you won't know how long Jonathan's kill timer is. And it's hard to determine how much time you'd have for firework and fan until they'd get in. In this case, you'll either get lucky or you should have watched Jonathan beforehand. But maybe you didn't have time to do that. Either way, determining the priority of Jonathan when he's on his last stage is really important in each situation. But keep in mind that him attacking is Raine to an extent, so you're always gambling a bit with Jonathan. I'm sure I confused most of you when I explained all those strategies and situations. But I tried my best to summarize how to deal with each situation I struggled with, so you're all prepared. I'm probably one of, if not the player with the most hours in this game, or at least 3.0, so be sure to keep my tips in mind, as I thought those would be the most important ones to keep in mind while playing Eternal Wrath. Also try to keep yourself calm even though Oompa Wompa plays in the background and the alarm is throwing a party. The alarm can be especially deadly if you're looking for G3 Cupcake, or if you want to see Goldie's colors, so be careful while playing. But after enough playing and following my advice, you should be able to beat Eternal Wrath. Just like I did. Finally. But why stop there? Eternal Wrath Plus is a feared mode in the previous 2.6 version. It's at least 25 places higher than regular Eternal Wrath at the point of recording. Almost in the top 75. At the point of recording. Here it's basically the same as normal Eternal Wrath. Just do everything the same way you did before and you should be fine. Just keep in mind this mode is just the tip of the iceberg regarding how I know. Alright now, this mode is the equivalent of Eternal Wrath Plus on version 2.6. If you're trying to beat this mode or any other high AI mode, I think you're at the right place, as I'm the first victor of Eternal Wrath 24 and 25 AI. So I'm sure I can offer worthwhile advice. First of all, activate the alarm on the correct hallway as soon as you can. And I mean as soon as you can. Or you will be run over in seconds by firework and fan. Also keep in mind you're always edging each kill timer when playing this mode, so you have to deal with each situation correctly, or you will die.
Man, have I ever told you just how fucking terrible you are at this game? Like, oh my god.
Is this a bad time?
Yes, it's a bad time. Get the fuck out. This is my voice line.
My bad.
Motherfucker.
You'll also have to move a lot quick on cameras and your aim must be pretty good. Or you'll either die to Geok on the cameras or someone else, because you're too slow. Luckily, I have some more strategies. Those ones are a bit more sophisticated though. First of all, if you're on the camera of the real cupcake, you can flip down the monitor and click on the location of the cupcake, even if you're not in cams, and it will click on it even though you can't see it. But warning though, this may get patched in future updates, so be advised if this doesn't work. This strategy seems minor at first, but if you're fighting for each second, you'll have to get every time saver you can. Now, the most luck-based strategy, which can only be used reliably in certain situations, is a so-called Jonathan prediction. If Jonathan is in his last stage, you can predict him by selecting his hallway camera and closing the corresponding door. But if you're doing this, you risk losing a lot of time which you need for everyone else. So only try to do this if you're date with mostly everyone. Or when Firework Fan and or Ultra are attacking simultaneously to Jonathan, or if you really need to save some time. In my completion video, you will see me using this trick a good amount of times, as well as the other. But keep in mind that Jonathan attacking can be really random. So you have a good chance of dying even if you're using the strategy correctly. You have to be much faster compared to normal Eternal Rev, and sometimes deal with situations differently than a normal Eternal Rev to be alive. This took a week or so for me to beat, but a week of constant grinding nonetheless. So if you feel up to this challenge, go for it. It's still fun to play. There's just one more challenge left I did. Alright, if Eternal Rev plus took me a week to beat, then guess how long Eternal Rev plus took. This is the only time I will say those names, by the way. You'd think because this mode is just a jump of 1 AI that this will be kinda easy, right? 2 weeks. This one AI made me take double the time as before. RNG is a big factor here, because everything depends on Jonathan now. You can't just deal with another animatronic while Jonathan is on his last stage. No. You're just dying. Or watch him until he attacks and try to be very fast with whatever you're trying to do on the camps if you have something urgent to do while watching him. After you deal with Jonathan, you should deal with stuff like G. And while trying to predict Jonathan, you can also quickly activate the alarm, place a cake or flashbang Aiden if you urgently need to. To be honest, there isn't much to add here. What hasn't been said in Eternal Rev 24 AI. It's just faster. So you have to perfect this rev. Get it? Because of Perfect Rev coming out someday. This is also turning very unfun to play. So if you don't like RNG and insanely close timings or also having to react to situations accordingly, I'd strongly disencourage you to play 25 AI or beyond. But 25 AI is probably the last mode which is going to place because the rest is just unfun and just RNG. And the other Eternal Rev victors collectively agreed this should be the last mode, which I also have to agree with. I mean, just look at this.
Cake time.
Oh, least no one can say I didn't spend much time and effort on those changes anymore, because this is top 96? Ain't no way there are those many new modes, what the heck? Thank you guys for watching. This video took a long time to make, again, so make sure to subscribe or something, because it would help me a lot as I want to really pursue this YouTube thing now. While we're at it, I'd like to thank you all for 250 subscribers again. I mean, I would have still made videos, but probably just gameplay ones, and seeing the support made me learn actual video editing for this channel. I'd also like to thank Kingpin and Flarix, making this video possible in the first place, like it is now. Those two people truly are the GOATs. Now, with everything said, we'll see us in the next video, which will probably not be Thunder's Frenzy anymore, thank God. But it will also take a while.